So look at how fun it is. Explain like non-coder human. And it just gave me the output team app, boss manages employees, employees chat with each other. So that's how fun this skill is. So if you ever wanted to add such skills to your open code, this is the video for you. So let's go one by one. First, there is Superpowers. Superpowers is an agentic skills framework that adds multiple skills to your existing agentic coder or programmer. So I'm using open code, so I'll just search open code, and installation is pretty simple. You just copy this line and paste it into open code like this, which I won't do because I have already installed it in my open code. So let me just, okay. So I'll just exit, start a new session, change my model real quick, open Z. So to invoke its skills, you will go to slash skills, and then all the skills will be displayed. So I've installed other skills as well as my projects and programming languages. So superpowers is pretty simple. You just type using superpowers, and I'll just ask, tell me about this project. So look at how fast it go through the whole project and gave me the short and simple answer. So let me invoke another skill. Let me ask him to brainstorm. So now I'm delving into a complicated task, which is to add new features, which requires creative thinking. So I'll just say I want to add features. Which features I can add to this application? So any skill you install will add a whole another layer of system prompt, and then it will give the input of the user. So now it's using the skill, and it has suggested me various features. So that's the brainstorming skill. There's also skills for removing errors, so debugging, systematic debugging. There's also reviewing skills, so requesting code reviews. You will ask the AI agent to review the code, and it will give you the improvements or suggestions. So there's that. So that is superpowers. Of course, there is much more to that. Uh, if you guys want, I can explain it in whole another video. So let's move on to the next plugin, which is Graphify. So whenever you're trying to switch models or use another agent, you will have to explain it the whole process again. So what is the application about, which code base it's using, what files you have created, and much more. So the context switching is really difficult. So Graphify solves that issue. It basically creates its own memory folder, and it will store all the context related to project as a node graphical structure. So installation is pretty simple too. You just put this in your command line and it will install naturally. So let's see Graphify in action. So I will just initialize open code again. I need to change the default model. So to use that skill, naturally we'll go to skills and just type Graphify and put enter. So naturally it will put its whole another set of system prompt. It will run some code and it will ask me which files to consider. Look at that. It has detected a large corpus of over 9,000 files. You don't want it to scan 9,000 files because it will not be useful for you. So it is asking me whether I want to scan my whole project, which will take a lot of time, my application code, resources.js, so my front end or my database. So I'll just ask it to do my database folder. So now it will scan my whole database folder. So it's a small corpus, just 14 files, and it will build the graph, which is the memory for the AI, and also a really cool visualization of the context. So let's give it a minute. Also, the cool thing about Graphify, it as it stores the whole memory in a folder, you can open and see the folder for yourself. So if I just go to my editor of choice, Z, you can see there's graphify.out. So let me reveal it in Finder. And look at that. I can see all the files for myself. Now I will show you the graph.html, which is a really cool file. So look at that. It gives a really cool graphical visualization of which file is connected to which another file, how they are connected, and this gives a really proper context to your AI. So your AI will understand it much more better if you provide this kind of graphical visualizations as well, with its nodes and its connections and much more. So that is Graphify, really cool tool. And now for the best part, that is Caveman. So as the about section explains, why use many token when few token do the trick. So it cuts up to 65% of the tokens by talking like a caveman. So I'll also try to talk like a caveman. So caveman uses low tokens. So you can notice the savings much more better. So look before and after. Normal Claude or normal AI, more token. Caveman Claude, less token. Okay, I'll stop speaking like a caveman now. I'll speak normally. So you can see how much improvement it has done. So approximately 75% of the tokens saved. And the more tokens saved, the more cost is saved. So installation is really simple, as most of these tools just install a simple skill file. There's also manual installation per agent, so you can do that as well. Let me find that installation thing. Open code. Okay, yeah, let's stick with this because automatic installs are much better. But if you want to tweak, there is documentation for it as well. So after installation, you will find. Okay, let's continue in this chat. So I'll just say caveman. First, I'll go to skills, then caveman, and I'll say caveman. I'll ask the same question. What is project about? Look at the output. Larval app, employee management, chat system, React frontend, plus inertia. Okay, lot of technical terms. What if I want to explain it to someone who is not technical? So I'll just type slash skills, caveman, non-coder human explanation, please. Okay, look at that output. App manage employees, track role, phone salary, hire date, admin, add edit, delete employee, chat built-in, web app, in short, employee record, internal messaging, wrapped in clean web interface. So look at how fast it works, how many tokens it has saved. So normally a chat of this size would take like te- tens of thousands of tokens, but it has used much less tokens. So these were the skills that I use on a daily basis on open code. If there's something, please comment. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.